Royale High went from being one of Roblox's most popular games, but now struggles to pull in 10,000 players daily. I have seen a plethora of videos discussing Royale High's campuses, development incompetency, and also questionable people in the team. However, what about Sunset Island? If you're watching this video, you may or may not have seen my content either on TikTok or here. Regardless of whether you liked or disliked Summer Isle, a majority of people can agree that Royale High isn't what it used to be and doesn't seem to have a leg to stand on anymore. Before I begin discussing issues regarding the game, as you are probably aware, Summer Isle hasn't existed for nearly 2 years, and I don't plan on making a return or making any other videos after this. However, as a former content creator that played the game and built a community based on it, I thought it would be interesting to discuss some issues that I haven't seen be presented in other videos. Again, if you know who I am, or was, then you would know I used to focus on Sunset Island. Although that is where my channel started, it's also the reason why it ended. So, let's discuss Royale High's downfall, including, but not limited to, Sunset Island.
And I'm fucking Becky! Yeah, cause with my clown power, I am
Even those who aren't chronically online know about this game. Peso's played it, yeah, we all know it's obviously Dress to Impress. So, I'm not going to spend my time here discussing Dress to Impress lore, but it obviously needs to be said, and that is, Dress to Impress is Royale High's major competitor. I say that, but the games are obviously very different. I mean, one's a game about being a princess, prince role-playing in a school, and the other one is literally walking a runway. But obviously, I'm here to discuss Sunset Island. And without calling the sky blue, it's the same concept. Royale High's last major peak in popularity was December 2023, and has continued to decline in numbers since then. Dress to Impress was created in October 2023, so after Royale High's last peak, Dress to Impress had time to marinate, and you know the rest. But why did a majority of people prefer Dress to Impress and even move there completely? Well, first of all, it's easy to start Dress to Impress. You don't need to grind for a millennia in order to get the basics. You just walk over to what you want and put it on. It's as simple as that. Another reason, and one that I see myself preferring Dress to Impress over Sunset Island, is the Dress to Impress team aren't incompetent. The team clearly has a good head on its shoulders and understands how to balance finance and entertainment. They know what the public wants, and they definitely make a great profit over it. This is what's confused me about Royale High for a while. That game, as mentioned before, was one of the biggest in Roblox's history ever, and yet they struggled with the bare minimum. So it really can be chalked up to pure incompetency, and I'll get onto that later. I'm not a Dress to Impress expert, but whenever I play the game after some time of not playing it, there's always something new to expect or small changes that improve the game. With Royale High, something that I also appreciate with Dress to Impress is, and actually I'm quite shocked that I even need to say this, the game works. And that brings me on to my second point.
gonna make you scream louder. It's a clown attack, bitch!
I'm opening old wounds, so I had to take a deep breath before recording this. But this is the reason why I stopped Summer Isle and why I completely quit playing the game in general. The glitches. Royale High makes Pokemon Scarlet and Violet look like a masterpiece. Thing is, at least I could tolerate Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to some extent. With Royale High, I had to stop running my community because of how broken the game was. At the time of playing it, whilst running my community, the reason why I never dropped it was because I held out hope. I said to myself, the reason why the game is so bad and so broken and buggy was because the team was working their blood, sweat and tears into opening Campus 3. How ridiculously naive I was, oh my god. I actually gave up waiting for Campus 3 simply because of how long it took. 2 years, I think. Apologies, 3 years. It was 3 years. Because the game was so glitchy and bad, and with no hopes of Campus 3 ever coming out, I just transferred my community over to someone else. In the long run, I'm happy that I did, because it never got better. The glitches are still there, still unfixed. I actually went back on and recorded myself playing Sunset Island again after, I'd say, over a year of not playing it. The last time I played was December 2023. A majority of the glitches were still there.
This is coming to town. So sit your ass down and get ready for a club!
My next point is that after a while, the novelty of Sunset Island does start to wear off, and unfortunately, this probably will happen to Dress to Impress as well. There's only so many themes that you can have, and I honestly think Sunset Island has covered pretty much all the ones that you can do. So, that leaves me onto my last point, and it's the most detrimental to the game and Sunset Island as a concept. the school. It almost seems silly to say that Royale High's most anticipated edition was the thing that ended up breaking it, except it's not silly because that's exactly what happened. Campus 3 was announced in 2020, which had the community in high hopes. However, when other aspects of the game started to be neglected in order to prioritize the new school, which then seemed to be never coming out, the community wouldn't take it lying down. When Campus 3 inevitably came out, half the campus was missing? To this day, February 2025, Campus 3 still isn't finished. But wait, that's not the kicker! Barbie has started work on Campus 4. I don't even need to explain how stupid of an idea that is, and it clearly hasn't paid off because, oh no, where have all the active players gone? Another issue with Royale High as a whole in 2025 is it has lost its identity. The whole premise of the game is roleplay, and that has been lost. Instead, being traded, no pun intended, for purchasable items. Now, that's not to say that that is entirely Barbie's fault. It could simply be because kids don't want to roleplay as royalty anymore. They would much rather frolic in the forests as cats. Now, earlier I stated that Dress to Impress gets more consistent work on the game than Royale High, but quite simply, Dress to Impress is a much smaller game. But this then ties into funds, and I've already said many times that Royale High earns a lot of money, so I wouldn't say it's that ambitious when you take into consideration how much revenue the game earns. In 2024, Royale High was still one of Roblox's top 10 most visited games, so people can't wrap their heads around how terribly this game is being run. The last time I played Royale High was in December 2023, and that's when the new campus had just come out. It ran absolutely terribly, and people had a right to complain, considering we waited 3 years for an unfinished product. For this video I played it again, and it had good ideas, for example musical chairs, but waiting 5 years for only 3 classes just for Barbie to start work on Campus 4, yeah, I can see why people are leaving, and I must say it is completely well deserved for the utter incompetence and stupidity of the development team. Do I see Royale High peaking again? It's a very complicated question to answer, but with the rise of Dress to Impress, other competitors on the horizon, and the team not doing themselves any favours, then probably no. What can be done to fix the game? Either hire a new development team, sell the game, or just get your shit together. The public speaks about these issues often and have fallen on deaf ears. From a business standpoint, even just a player one, the decisions that the Royale High development team are making are genuinely crazy and lack any logic whatsoever. But there's only so many times the public can say it, and it seems as though the result won't differ. Thank you for watching.